Hello YouTube, my name is Paul and this is my first ever mukbang, as well as my first ever YouTube video. So please cut me some slack on the editing and the shooting skills, but let's get straight into it. And so today I will be making some tonkatsu, and what I got here are some pork loins. Now they are a little thick if you can see, and tonkatsu tends to be a little bit more thin. So what we're going to start off by doing is we're going to try and cut these in half, but not all the way. You want to cut it in half, so you leave a little bit of the other end that wasn't cut into open, and what that does is it helps make a flatter but wider shape for the pork loin. And as you can see, these are pretty small, and tonkatsu I would say is 2 hands width maybe, and so we're gonna end up with a little bit smaller than usual, but that's all right. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the loin in half, but not all the way. And so what that does, it makes a flatter but thinner piece. And we're gonna go ahead and do that for all of those. That's 2. Now I am a little bit hungry today, so I will be making 5 cutlets. As you heard me right, 5. Why, you ask? For the gains. Getting there little by little. Please bear with me. Here you go. Now please mind the mess behind me. My house is very unclean, so it is what it is. But the main focus of this video is the food, and so let's all try and enjoy this together. Almost done here on the last loin. Alright, here we go. We got 5 pork loins cut in half, not all the way, to make them thinner, flatter, and it'll shorten the cooking time as well, actually, because they're thinner. Now, they're still a little tough, and so what we're gonna do is try and tenderize them with the back of our knife, the dull edge, and by doing this, it'll also lessen the cooking time, but also make the pork more tender and enjoyable to eat. And so I might get a little violent here, but we're gonna start smacking it. And try and get the desired shape. 2. Now for the thicker parts, you want to hit harder to tenderize it even more. And really try and get a desirable shape. And to me, that right there is pretty good. One last one. And we'll be off to the prep. And as you can see, all these knife marks, well, not really, they didn't cut, but pretty much tenderized the whole piece and made it a little bit more, less chewy, if you will. And now the next step to making tonkatsu is we're gonna dredge it in some flour. And here I got some all-purpose flour. All we're gonna do is take the loins we just cut up and then get flour on both sides. Now this one's a little thick, so I'm gonna bring it back to the cutting board and try and tenderize it a little bit more. There we go. And tonkatsu is a pretty easy meal to make and cook. Doesn't take that much time either, so it's honestly a dish that I like to make up here in Bing. And it's a joy that I enjoy a lot. It's a dish I enjoy a lot, actually. And we're on the fourth one, almost done. With the flour. And you want your piece to look like this afterwards. All white, both sides. Yep. And then, not yet, but soon, after the flouring stage, what we're gonna do is we're gonna beat 2 or 3 eggs in a bowl and mix the yolk with the egg whites. That's what we're gonna dip these bad boys into. So flour done. We're gonna move that to the side, and comes in the egg, which I already have prepared. I took a fork, put the eggs in here, speed it up like this till they're mixed, and then using this egg wash, what we're gonna do is take what we just did, the pork with the flour, we're gonna dip it right in. And to the side of me, if you can see, I have some breadcrumbs, some panko, or bankaru if you're in Korean, which literally translates to breadcrumbs. And so after dipping it in the egg wash, we'll bring it right to the panko with breadcrumbs. And we're gonna coat both sides of it. And especially on this step, you do not want to leave a spot missed. The panko will make the tonkatsu more crispy, more crunchy. That is what we're aiming for. And so if you see any spots that are missed or still a little runny from the egg, you want to really coat them and push that breadcrumb in it, and so it sticks onto the pork. That to me is a good tonkatsu. So same thing, dip it in the egg wash, straight to the breadcrumbs. And if you guys plan on making this, I recommend that you have it like this, the egg wash right next to the breadcrumbs, for a little less mess and just ease of preparing the tonkatsu. So really get those breadcrumbs in there and get them to stick. Sometimes they won't. You just gotta do what you just gotta do. Here we go. That's number two. Again, egg wash and then breadcrumbs. A little extra tip. You are probably going to run out of breadcrumbs before you're going to run out of eggs, and so always keep an open container to your side. Mistake I made, but we're working with it, going with it, with the flow. And again, just trying to really coat that pork loin with the breadcrumbs. Leave no spot missed. And that right there is number 3. Spray a little more if you need it. And typically what the restaurants that serve tonkatsu will do, at least the better ones, they will use a certain type of breadcrumb, specifically from Japan actually, and not in Korea. But the breadcrumbs tend to be a lot thicker of pieces. Like, as you can see, the breadcrumbs right here, pretty fine, right? The breadcrumbs I'm talking about that come from Japan are a lot thicker and bigger in pieces, which will ultimately end up in a crunchier and crispier tonkatsu experience. Here we go. Almost ready. That right there, my friends, is number 4. The last and final one, we're gonna do the same thing. Egg, 2 breadcrumbs. Oh, number 5. Now, tonkatsu is normally served with some side dishes, first being a side salad, as well as a serving of rice. And so, to make the dressing for the side salad, what we're going to do is take a little bowl. We're going to take a little spoon, 1 second. And we're gonna start off by using some mayonnaise. After mayonnaise, you're gonna need a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of honey, and you're gonna need some lemon juice, but I only got lime, so that's what we're gonna work with. And first ingredient.
We have lemon juice.
Oh, we do. Thank you. Yo, my friend Kyle right here, yo. He's the best. What we're gonna start off with is about a cup of mayonnaise. So a little bit more. Actually, I like mayonnaise. We can do a little bit more. The dressing is consisted of mostly mayonnaise, and so you want to put a healthy amount in there. After mayonnaise, we're gonna put a little bit of ketchup. This one's new, so take the seal off, put it back on, and we're gonna add about teaspoons worth of ketchup. Right, and after the ketchup, we're gonna add about half a lime or lemon worth of juice, but that's what we got to work with. And so just gonna kind of eyeball it and add what I think is right. I like it a little bit more sour, so a little bit doesn't hurt. A little bit more doesn't hurt. After that, we got the creaminess, the tartness, and the sourness. And what we are missing is a little bit of sugar. And to make up for that sugar, we're gonna add, oh man, this is slippery. Spoon to that, actually fork to that. There we go. Bear with me, guys. But like I was saying, we're gonna add a little bit of honey to the mix. About another tablespoon or so. Just gonna take that spoon, get these guys all situated, mixed up. Let the flavors to get to know each other. And really just mix that sauce up till it's unified and not as chunky, to be honest. Oh, you see that? Looking more like a dressing. From here, give it a little taste. That right there, my friends, is perfect. Now, what you're looking for is a sauce to end up a little pink, and I know in this light you might not be able to see it, but it definitely has a pink color to it from the ketchup. Make sure all the flavors combine and dressing is mixed well. What you're gonna do is set this to the side. Normally the side salad is served cold, and so you want to leave this in the fridge while you be cooking the tonkatsu. And on to that part. Oh, I forgot to mention, for the salad you're gonna need some cabbage, but I skipped a little step and I already got myself some shredded cabbage. The side salad tends to usually have thinner cuts of salad, but you know, that's alright. I'm gonna have to work with what I got, but this usually does the job. I got myself some angel hair coleslaw, but it is just really just finely cut green cabbage, and that's what you want. Alright, before we start, I just want to apologize for the bootleg setup, but I already got my pan ready. You're going to want to put oil enough to cover the entire bottom of the pan. And a little trick that I found, if you get a wooden chopstick and you put it in the oil, and the oil around this starts bubbling, you know that oil is hot and ready. And so what you're going to do, even before you start putting the tonkatsu in the oil, you want to get a plate, or in my case, a cutting board, and put a paper towel on top of it or two to soak up any of the extra oil that you don't want to eat. And so leave that onto the side and near the cooking station, and you're just gonna take that tonkatsu that we egged and breaded earlier, and you're just gonna lay it flat. And now, because tonkatsu is normally so thin, they don't take that long to cook. What we're looking for is to get a golden brown edge on both sides. It usually takes about 3 to 4 minutes. And so you're just gonna let these guys chill in here until they crisp up and cook all the way through. And again, it only takes about 3 to 4 minutes on each side for it to get golden brown. I'll catch you on the flip side. Alright, now that the tonkatsu is all ready and cooked, we're gonna finish up that side salad that we talked about earlier. And so, get your cabbage. Cabbage. Get yourself a large mixing bowl, that can fit the cabbage. Put the cabbage in the mixing bowl. We're just gonna use the whole thing. And we're gonna take that sauce that we made earlier and you're gonna drizzle it all on top. After that, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take my hand and mix it. Get it nice and incorporated. Get that dressing to touch every piece of cabbage. And soon enough, you'll have your style side salad. Make sure to get it all nice and mixed thoroughly. And that right there is a side salad. After that, all you're gonna do is plate up and eat up.